What's up, everybody? It's a beautiful morning, but this week has been absolutely nuts. I am joined by Mr. French Toast. Anything to tell the people? Anything? No, he's a little shy. But I set out last week to fix an underboost code that I've had in my turbo on my MK6 GTI. By today, a week later from when this whole endeavor started, we're more than $400 in the car and still have an underboost code. So I'm gonna take you to the car and then we're gonna get into everything that has happened. So here she is, Victoria, the love of my life and scourge of my wallet at the moment. So this past week has been absolutely nuts in terms of me in this car, because I set out to put a new diverter valve in, and I did decide when I was getting the stuff I was going to change the air filter for the engine. Got the tools that I needed. Cool. This all happened Friday. I didn't have the time or the daylight Friday to get it done after work, so Saturday morning I was off. I woke up and I got under the car because I've been waiting to do this for a couple months. I finally had the time and money to get everything together. So I jacked the car up, spent an hour and a half or so fighting the old diverter valve and installing the new one. I did a little happy dance because I cleared the code, nothing pulled, like we were building boost in the car, and we were back. We were at the mountaintop, the peak. And then we fell off quite quickly because not even half an hour later, my serpentine belt completely disintegrates, just gone. And I have to get my car towed up to Pep Boys, which is like, it's not far, but I had to see my car in a tow truck. That hurt. Anyways, after 4 or 5 hours of my car sitting up at Pep Boys and $270 later, I got my car back. Serpentine belt on, new diverter valve. I'm back at the top. We're back. We're so back. Living life. Well, I believe it was Sunday night, my underboost code popped again. Check engine light back on my dash. Let me just say, anyone who hasn't dealt with a check engine light on their dash for an extended period of time, it is a blessing. Or if you're one of those people that just does not care about dash lights, whatever, that little yellow bitch has been haunting me for months. So when it popped back up Sunday, I thought I was going to lose it. Tuesday night, I start playing around in the engine bay to see where my air intake's supposed to be. So I start taking out parts of the air intake and take off the grill from the front. And during this process, I realized that my air intake is exactly where it's supposed to be. My radiator, however, is just leaning back on the engine. And has been since I got the car. I'm trying not to be mad at myself about that because I didn't know. And as soon as I found out, I fixed it. But also, how did Pep Boys miss that? I paid you $270 to fix the serpentine belt. And you didn't notice that the radiator was leaning back on the engine? Okay. So, very eventful week for me. And can't handle much more of the up and down emotions-wise, because going from so back with the diverter valve replaced to so done when the serpentine belt went to so back was able to get the serpentine belt replaced to so done because my radiator is leaning on the engine, and I don't know if it's missing bolts or the support itself is broken. Luckily, when I took the front end of the car off Wednesday morning, I realized that it was just a couple bolts missing. And even though that is what I was hoping it would be, because that was the easiest solution, absolutely asinine that my radiator had nothing holding it into the support. It was sitting in the support, just leaning back on the engine. It's not anymore. It's not, and it feels like there's so much more space in the engine bay because the radiator's not creeping its way back into the engine space. But hopefully, in the next couple weeks, we'll get that oil leak tested, repaired, and we'll get that part ordered for our intake, and hopefully not have to buy a new turbo. Hopefully between those two we can solve this underboost issue. Then we get to put an exhaust on, we get to put an air intake on, we get to look at headlights, we get to build our car, because we are still bone stock with the exception of the tinted windows, and I haven't even gotten my windshield tinted yet. I still got to go back and do that at some point, but we're making progress slowly but surely. I do need to get wheels before I start doing the fun stuff, because my tires are looking a little rough. But you got to get through all the maintenance repairs before you start modding, because I'll be pissed to spend a few $100s on an intake and still have an underboost issue, or have that cause another issue because there's something that I should have checked prior to upgrading the engine to ensure that the engine was running the way it was supposed to. Got to get to the fun stuff, because that's where the fun is. All of this is not fun, and I am glad to get the experience and learn more about my car, how to fix my car, how to take apart my car. But I tell you what, I was not planning on spending over $400 on this car this past week at all. I do love this car, and I want it running as well as it can for as long as it can, and ideally as fast as it can. But if you want to keep up with what's going on, be sure to subscribe, like this video, share it with somebody that may watch it. Or if you just want to see me slowly lose my mind at the things that are going on when I post, if I post. I want to thank y'all before we go for sitting and listening to me complain about this car and the week that we've had together. I do feel some accomplishment and pride for getting the air filter and the diverter valve replaced, and, you know, being the only person to realize that the radiator was leaning on the engine and fixing that myself, because God knows had I taken it somewhere I would have gotten charged another $100 or two for them to screw 2 bolts into place. But until next time, y'all stay safe.